Donald Trump has tried everything to distract the American public from the Epstein scandal, right? Let's investigate Hillary's emails for the millionth time. Obama may have committed treasonous conspiracy. Kamala Harris, Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce, Al Sharpton, they all did some bad things in the campaign. But none of it's working. And that is the most hilarious part of all of this. None of his distraction techniques that have served him so well over the years are successful. And even in Scotland, he has not been able to escape the questions from reporters. And on Sunday, Donald Trump, of course, was asked by a reporter about the Epstein scandal, and he got pissed off. He's like, oh, are you kidding me with this? But on Monday, he sang a different tune. So I'm assuming what happened is between Sunday and Monday, right? His handlers, whoever it is, advisors came up to him and said, listen, you can't fly off the handle like that. Everybody's going to ask questions. We got to figure this out. So on Monday, while meeting with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Donald Trump was, of course, once again asked about Epstein. And this time, instead of getting pissed off at the reporter, instead of dismissing the issue, Donald Trump went on a lengthy rant where he somehow managed to make his scandal so much worse. Here is what Donald Trump said. He was asked by a reporter, is your name in the Epstein files? And Trump responded, well, I haven't been overly interested in it. It's a hoax. That's been built up way beyond proportion. I can say this, those files were run by the worst scum on earth. They were run by Comey, they were run by Garland, they were run by Biden, and all of the people that actually ran the government, including the Autopen. Those files were run for 4 years by those people. If they had anything, I assume they would have released it. The whole thing is a hoax. Now, I'm going to continue because, trust me, there is a lot more and it gets so much worse. But let's take a second to talk about the fact that Donald Trump has dementia, okay? The Autopen ran those files. The Autopen! He literally said that. All of the people that actually ran the government, including the Autopen. So, little Autopen, I don't know what it even looks like or what it is, but according to Trump, it's the pen! The pen is running things, folks! We must get rid of the pen. Bad pen. Okay, that's crazy. That's not just dementia. That's not senility. That's not early onset Alzheimer's or whatever Alzheimer's he could possibly have. That's mental illness. Donald Trump is out there telling us that this nefarious little pen, is secretly running the government. That's the kind of thing where if you heard somebody standing on a street corner yelling that out, you would probably want to call EMTs to do a mental welfare check. But this is the president of the United States, and he said that the little pen is running the government. Ran the government for 4 years, that crazy pen. Where's the pen now? Nobody knows, right? But then he continues. He was then asked, about the Wall Street Journal saying, hey, you drew that doodle. And he said, I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person. Sometimes people say, well, you drew a building and I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, for charity stuff. But I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women. That I can tell you. They say there's a drawing of a woman. And I love how he's like, I don't do drawings of women. I mean, they claim maybe there's a drawing of a woman. I don't even know. You just gave up the game, dude. And also, Epstein was always a very controversial guy, and I was a very successful business guy. He was a very controversial. Who would do a controversial drawing? That's such old history, very easy to explain, but I don't want to waste your time explaining it. And then he literally goes on to waste their time explaining it in a very obvious lie. He goes, very easy to explain. But for years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help, and I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that worked for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again. And I threw him out of the place. Persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did it. If you want to know the truth, and by the way, I never went to the island. And here's where it gets real saucy. And Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never had the privilege of going to his island. And I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island. In one of my very good moments, I turned it down. I never had the privilege of going to the island. Now, obviously, using the word privilege there was not smart, even if you're trying to use it in a more exaggerated, facetious tone, right? Like, oh, I've never had the privilege of having my leg chopped off. But still a weird way to put it when you're talking about his, underage abuse island, we'll call it. You never had the privilege of going there. You had to turn it down. Bill Clinton was there 28 times. I will kind of issue the correction on that. Bill Clinton was at least on the jet 28 times. That is what, of course, has been confirmed. He is, in fact, in those flight logs. Trump, however, by the way, this is worth noting, Trump actually used Epstein's jet last summer to campaign. So, I didn't talk to him for years. I threw him out. I hate him. And then you're using his jet after he dies. How'd you get your hands on that? Huh? Kind of seems like the type of thing we need a few more answers to, right? You're using his jet after he died. Obviously, you still liked him enough to use it. But all of this together made the scandal that much worse for Trump. You use the word privilege. You're like, I don't know anything about the drawing of a naked woman with my signature in it. I've never even seen it or heard of it. They say that a thing might exist. You just basically admitted you know exactly what they're talking about. There's multiple, countless drawings that you have done over the years that have now been documented. There's images out there. People can easily find them. The media has reported on them. He is grasping at straws. He is panicked. He is backed into a corner. And again, this is a stark difference from what he was like on Sunday when he got pissed off at the people asking him. This time he decided to answer. And ironically, would have been better off if he just got pissed off and said, don't you ever ask again, because by opening his mouth, he once again made all of his own problems that much worse. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.